Welcome to Home Brew by J.W. Martin Real Estate, where we uncover the true stories of what's brewing in South Carolina's local business scene. I'm Joey Martin, and each week we sit down with the ones who are pushing through the grind. Business owners, creators, and community leaders who have fought through the tough times and come out stronger. No fluff, just real stories, smart insights, and a whole lot of lessons learned the hard way. Let's dive in. Welcome to Home Brew by J.W. Martin, where we uncover the true stories of what's brewing in South Carolina's local business scene and beyond. I'm Joey Martin, and each week we sit down with the ones who are pushing through the grind, business owners, creators, and community leaders who have fought through the tough times and come out stronger. No fluff, just real stories, smart insights, and a whole lot of lessons learned the hard way. Let's dive in. Today, I'm here with Steph Carlstedt. She's a Nebraska-based business coach and host of Magnetic Business Podcast, where she teaches entrepreneurs how to build businesses aligned with their energetic design using human design. Stefanie helps clients understand their strengths and energy types to create empowered, sustainable business strategies. After building a six-figure business that led to burnout, she pivoted to guide others in doing business in a way that resonates deeply with less pressure and more personal alignment. So welcome, Steph. Thank you for
Thank
being on
you.
Homebrew.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I appreciate you having me.
Awesome. And this is so interesting to me. So out of the norm for the way we as entrepreneurs, I think, typically think.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it sounds like it probably was for you as well at some point in time. So let's kind of go back to kind of the beginning for you and kind of how you wound up where you are today.
Yeah, sure. So I have always been someone that never felt like I quite fit into the norm of society to what we're supposed to do. The college route was not for me, but I pushed through because my parents said it was good for me. And I pushed through. I actually ended up getting my graduate degree, got the perfect job out of college, the perfect job on the outside. And I immediately felt like I was shrinking. I felt like I wasn't seen, heard, validated. And my dad was actually diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at 60 years old. And I went
Mm,
back to work that next day. And I remember my coworker putting me in my office and telling me to come out when I'm done crying. And that was the moment that I realized I want to create something of my own. I don't want to work for anybody else. And it was an unfolding moment for entrepreneurship for me. I dove headfirst into the online space, had no clue what I was doing, ended up building a big business, a six-figure business in the next 10 years. I created that business, come full circle, 10-year mark, and the month of losing my dad, I lost both of them at the same time.
mm,
It just collapsed and burnt to the ground, and I know now why. I know that I was burnt out, I was frustrated, I was misaligned, I was not clear on who I wanted to be anymore, and I always tell people like that grief broke me wide open in that time. And I realized that I wasn't who I was designed to be. I wasn't who I wanted to be. And my family was feeling that. And that was not okay for me. And so I had a little nudge from the universe, from God, whatever. And from my sister in law, and she sent me this text and she said, "Have you ever heard of human design?" And I said, "I have, but I chalked it up to a personality test, Enneagram, Myers Briggs, Strengths Finders. So I thought it was fluff." And she said, "You need to read it." And so I sat down on my couch and I read the high level of my design, and I immediately started crying, good tears, because it was the first time I felt like there wasn't anything wrong with me. I actually am completely designed different than anybody that is around me. And I felt so seen, heard, validated for the first time. And I knew in that moment that I was meant to create a business to help other people feel that way, because we are so inundated with this is the viral trends, the hacks, the systems, the funnels that burn us out. And it's not meant to be like that. Business is supposed to be fun and exciting and purpose driven and passion filled. and we've lost that along the way, and it's time to come home to ourselves before the world told us who to be in business and life, and so that's what I help people do now.
Wow, that's incredible. So here you are going through all this grief and heartache, and someone comes in your office door and says, "Come out when you're done crying." Wow, my goodness, that's a pretty tough atmosphere to be around. My goodness, and so I can see why you would want to change from that world. As far as the business world that you were in prior to getting into human design, what were you involved in prior to human design?
So I was a health and fitness coach, and I helped thousands of clients, hundreds of other people start businesses within that. And looking back, I know that there would have been much higher rate of success on the business side and the client side had I had human design. But most people were frustrated, burnt out, didn't stick with their goals, their plans because it wasn't designed for them. Human design actually tells you all of that in business and life. And it's very fascinating. And I know that I was meant to go through that because my design actually tells me that I'm supposed to fail more than most people. And when I first read that design, I was like, oh, that sucks. I don't want to have to fail a lot. But now I know why. And now I can come back stronger and tell people like my design literally says, I'm here to pivot, move fast, fall down, burn it all down, build it up, burn it down again, and tell people it actually works. That's literally what my design says. And I'm living it out.
Wow, wow, that's I feel like I can somewhat relate there with some of that with shiny object syndrome and things like that. But again, I can certainly relate to you as a business owner. I'm in the real estate field and I have a team of 34 agents.
Mhm.
And I would say I would fall guilty of just expecting people to all learn the same way or all, you know, there's a checklist of things you got to do. And
Yeah.
it's saying that's the only way you're going to be successful in this business is if you do it that way. And so I'm curious to learn from you on this. How, as a business owner in my world, how are you able to custom fit teaching and training for each individual person?
Yeah. So first of all, going to your team, that is another thing that I love to do. I actually have corporate offers where I help teams work better together because at the end of the day, if we don't understand ourselves and each other, there's always going to be frustration, burnout, butting heads, whatever it might be, and we're not going to hit our fullest potential. And so it's super crucial to understand each other at this new deeper level. So I first of all, let's just get this out of the way because a lot of times people will say, like I mentioned before, it's like an Enneagram or a Myers Briggs or something like that. My husband even thought that in the beginning. And those tests, the Enneagram, the Myers Briggs, the Strength Finders, etc., are answered from a conditioned mind. They are answered from a mind that has been through trauma, upbringing, societal conditioning, just background from family, external expectations. So is it really you? That's why I didn't want to know my human design. I thought it was the same and I never felt fully aligned with my Enneagram. And so that's one thing that I really want to drive home is that this is so different. I say it's written in the stars for you. I know that sounds out there, but when you actually understand it and get to know yourself, it's your jaw is wide open. I've had 100 or 800 people get their free chart and nobody has come back and said this isn't me. They've all found validation, excitement, eyes opening, and lives changed. So what I do with my clients is I take them through their chart first. We Your human design chart can teach you how you're meant to market. It can teach you what we call your vibe of tribe, which is the people that are attractive most to you when you're living in your design, and the qualities you can see the best in people, the easiest in people, which is completely different for a lot of people working together. Tells you the environments you thrive in the best in order to be able to become magnetized to the people that need you and the opportunities that are coming your way. It can help you with your niche. I don't like the word niche, but it really does help you understand how your voice is meant to be heard because it's not the same for everybody. Some people aren't even meant to be on social media and there's a way better way for them. So that's just a brief overview, but The offers, we create offers based on human design. Yeah, it tells you pretty much everything about your business. And I've not had one client walk away with the same business as someone else, which is really fun for me because that's what I did in my first business was I taught everybody, like you said, the same way. Checklists. This is what I'm doing. This is what made me successful. This is what you have to do. No wonder they didn't find the success I did.
That it really makes a tremendous amount of sense. And I've definitely done Myers-Briggs test to, I believe, everyone on my team and myself included. And you're trying to, and I don't even know necessarily what we gain from doing those things. I think it gives us kind of a maybe a false sense of we know what type of personality this person has, and this is the best way they're going to learn. But then we still go back to training the same old way that
Yeah.
we do all the time, which is just go through the training program and either they pick up on it or they don't. And so what you're saying is based on the on your own human design is how you're gonna learn best. Now, who do you feel this is an interesting perspective that is who would be responsible in for finding out their human design? Do you feel like the owner of the organization, if they care about their people a lot, I guess would be responsible for that, or is it up to the individual, or is everyone ready to take a step that direction? What are your thoughts on that?
So I was asked something similar on another podcast recently, and I do believe that it is the leader first because that's what we do. We lead ourselves first. So the leader needs to understand their human design and how unique they are, and then spread it out to the team and then allow the team to self study themselves. It's up to that individual then to be like, okay, these are my boundaries. This is my energy type. This is my decision making process because we have different decision making processes, which is very fascinating. I say that if the leaders of the world knew if they have an emotional authority, emotional decision making process, if they knew that, our world would be a much better place. And so I believe it's up to everybody, but we have to self lead ourselves first and then help the team so we can get them involved because the only way to have create change is to create change within ourselves first and then allow those who are ready to step forward into that change step forward. And I will tell you there a lot of people have been whose podcasts I've been on or even clients were skeptical at first because human design is it's not new, but it's newish in this new era that we call the new era of the individual. And people are starting to finally open their eyes to it. But usually by the end of a podcast episode or by the end of working with a client, they're like, whoa, this is what I'm meant for. This is how I meant to move and work and lead. And I had no idea. I was so programmed.
Wow, that's really neat. So, tell me a little bit about the different types of personalities, I guess you could say, or different types of human designs
Yeah.
for the listeners so they'll understand a little more what you're talking about.
Yeah. So there, I'm going to go over the highest level because you can literally work for an entire year on understanding your uniqueness and everything, every single facet of you. But the highest level is your energy type. And there's 5 energy types, which are generators, manifesting generators, projectors, reflectors, and manifestors. Did I say generate? Yeah. Okay. So the generators are they are the highest amount of the population is a generator. Whatever word I'm trying to use. So they are the life force of the world. They are more step by step process. They must do what they love and love what they do. If they don't, they have such a enveloping aura that everybody around them will feel their burnout, will feel their frustration. And so that's why they're the life force of the world because they're here to do what they love. And that might be a 9 to 5. If you are a generator and you love your 9 to 5, that's amazing. If you don't love it, for instance, I had a client who was a generator and he hated his 9 to 5, but he couldn't leave yet, right? He could not leave, but he was trying to build a business on the side. And I said, okay, you are going through your day completely misaligned with your energy type as a generator. You have to find a spot in your day for something every day that you love that brings you that passion and that joy. And so he took it upon himself to create something on the side. And a job opportunity fell in his lap. That's what I mean is the more you aligned you get, the more magnetized you become to opportunities that are meant for you. Otherwise, you're blocking it off. That's the
Okay.
overarching Yeah, that's the overarching theme of a generator, which again, you go into all the levels of each person. The other one is manifesting generator, which is very multitasking, pivoting, moving fast. Are not linear. I'm also a manifesting generator. We are not linear. We are not meant to do step by step process forever. We are we pivot. If something is exciting over here, this, ooh, cool, let's go do this over here. If something is exciting over here, and that's why I always felt like something was wrong with me, right? Because nobody in my family and friend circle was a man or was a podcaster or an entrepreneur. And so I was like, why do I want to do all this stuff? This is weird. I should go to 9 to 5. My chart actually says 9 to 5 is not for me. So that's just the overarching highest part of a manifesting generator. Projector is not an energy being. They are a little more rare and they have the hardest time with the societal conditioning because they need more rest. They can only work 2 to 4 hours on a specific thing at a time. Otherwise, they will burn out because they have such an open aura. They can walk into a room and see and feel others better than they can see and feel themselves.
Hmm.
So then the
Okay.
other people can see and feel themselves. So I have projector clients who will go to these big organizational events or whatever, come home, feel completely depleted, and need to sleep for 2 days. It's because that's their design. Like they have such a open aura that they can literally take on the energy from other people. Like my projector friend can see me and know my thoughts more before I even
Oh,
know my own. They're very cool beings and they're here to guide, lead, and they're not here to be in the doing like the generators and the manifesting generators.
wow.
Okay.
That's really interesting. They're taking on the energy of the entire room.
Yep.
So I could see why that would be exhausting. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And they have a lot of my projectors are married to generators and they struggle in until they understand that relationship dynamic of I'm not made like you. I can't go all the time. And then a couple more manifestors are the initiators of new processes, the new ideas, new systems. They have this burst of energy that they spark these new ideas and then they need to retreat for a while. There's something called your profile in your human design, which tells you how you're meant to interact with the world and other people and how other people see you. It's really fascinating. But manifestors can come off as kind of put off or standoffish and they really aren't. They're just in their creative energy initiating the new things. And like the person who created human design, I believe he was a manifester. And then it's up to generators and manifesting generators to take that new idea, that new system, that new thing and run with it. Okay, so see how we all have a place. And
Yeah.
then
Absolutely.
reflectors are the last ones and they are 1% of the population. I have worked with two reflectors and that's it. And they're so cool. You have 9 energy centers in your body and they have all of them are open. And which means that they are here to reflect everything, look at the whole system as a whole and reflect everything back to wait, this is what needs to be changed. This is what needs to move differently. So reflect back to you. And they have a lunar decision authority, which they're supposed to wait 28 days to make big decisions. So I just had to sneak that little authority piece in. But yeah, those are the overarching themes of the 5 types.
That's really interesting. And I have to admit that I went on your site and because I was curious myself just to see where I would land on this on the human design chart. And I have to admit I was pretty impressed by it. It's
Oh, good.
I think I was a 5-1. Does that
Yeah,
sound right?
5 yes, 5-1 manifesting generator. I didn't look to see what your environment was or your authority is, but as a 5-1, I'm curious to ask, do you love going down rabbit holes in things and researching a lot?
That's probably a fair statement. Yeah, and I definitely am easily distracted with things, and if I'm going to get something done, I need to kind of shut myself off from the world in order to get it accomplished. Because if I have, I'm a problem solver by nature, and so
Yes, that's in your design, like, for your 5-1, you are a problem solver. That's crazy.
I want to solve everyone's problem. And so if someone comes to me with a problem, I will stop everything I'm doing and try to solve that problem. And so it's extremely easy for me to get distracted from something I'm focused on.
Okay, so I have to tell you this because for some reason, I attract 5-1s. I don't know why. My vibe of tribe is a line 1, so most of my clients have line 1s, and you're a 5-1. So I had a client the other day, and we talked a lot about that because as a 5-1 on your 5 line side, you are projected upon because as the person who knows everything and knows how to help, and you have to have that boundary up of, is this good? Is this really my responsibility type thing? So what you just said is literally what I helped her through the other day. So funny.
I struggle with it constantly to I'm a bit of a people pleaser at times and problem solver at the same time. The boundaries are needed sometimes. It's interesting that you
Yeah.
say that. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's a big piece of it. And just to touch on this really quick, because I think your listeners would love to know this piece of your vibe of tribe is really explains how the people that are meant to see you when you're living in your design and the things that you see the best in people. So for instance, mine is Vibe of Tribe 1. So my marketing needs to be a lot of testimonials, a lot of explanation of exactly what you get when you work with me, very deep in information. Whereas if someone has a Vibe of Tribe 4, then they need to, like, their people just need to know they're going to be a part of a community. There's going to be lots of connection. And so it's very fascinating that our marketing is even supposed to look completely different when we have followed the gurus and the trends and really fallen into this culture of marketing the exact same way, and people are wising up to it. It doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I can say I've read tons of different books, and one of which, like the 5 a.m. kind of club,
Mm,
and I've tried it, and I am very productive extremely early in the morning like that, just because there's no distractions.
sure.
But I find myself more to be nocturnal. I find myself much more productive late at night when there's no distractions. But no distractions is when I'm most most productive. I think anybody would be more productive without a ton of distractions. But I seem to be more nocturnal than and it's than waking up at 4:30 in the morning. Those kind of things. I seem to be more of a nocturnal creature.
Yeah, it's interesting because some people are more they get more done with distractions or around a lot of people.
Okay,
Yeah.
definitely not me.
Yeah, definitely not me either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I'm really glad that you came on Homebrew today, because this is such
Yeah.
an interesting perspective of looking at things totally out of the box for the way I normally think. And
Mhm.
so I'm so thankful and so grateful to you for coming on.
For
And as far as people unlearning is something that I think is something that you brought up, is unlearning kind of societal norms. Explain that a little bit, if you will.
Yeah, so we have been from the time we were born put in this system of the normal trajectory of life. And if you want to look at it in business, we have been following these rules, these gurus, these trends that aren't for everybody. And, the whole thing with unlearning is just unlearning what the world told you who to be, because you come in with such a unique design that along the way the conditioning just gets us. And I know I mentioned it earlier, but this is the new era of the individual, and if we don't start understanding that, then people will be left behind. The people that are going to stay in the systems, that are going to stay in the to dos and the checklists of everybody's the exact same, they can't thrive anymore that way. And we're seeing that all over if you really look at places. But it's just unlearning the conditioning and unlearning the even the way you were brought up to act a certain way, to be a certain way, the things we were taught in school, you know, that you're wrong if you answer a question wrong. And it's just you're not supposed to trial and error your way. It's just a lot of unlearning to do. And human design is the start to that, because that is when I really was able to shut everything else around me off and find myself again and build a business and a life that felt like me versus that felt like this is what she did. So I'm going to do this too.
I actually have a friend and mentor of mine who recently took his children out of the public school system and began
Yeah.
homeschooling based on the fact that he doesn't want them to be conditioned to just go straight for a 9 to 5 kind of life. And I found that's a huge step. That's a huge decision to make. And I'm very
Yeah.
interested.
I talked about this on a podcast the other day too. I hope, and it's my, like, I feel like it's my mission to get this in schools, to get this in corporations, as many as I can, because we have to know each other and we have to know ourselves better in order to thrive. And I think that that's what I meant, like looking at it. If you look at the homeschool rates, they are skyrocketed compared to what they used to be. And there's kids actually taking themselves out of school because they say things like, I don't want to be told when I can go to the bathroom. I don't want to be told that I answered something wrong and it's only this the right way this way. And so it's all coming full circle. And 10 years from now, it's going to look completely different.
Absolutely. I definitely can can see the trends going that direction.
Yeah.
And again, Steph, thank you so much. Tell the listeners how they can find you if they'd be interested in learning more about human design and about you and potentially taking advantage of some of your coaching opportunities, or maybe listen to
Yeah, for sure. First, you need to grab your chart. It what I have provided in this report is more than most people charge for this stuff. So you get your chart at stephcarlstedt.com/HD report. And I don't know if I've sent you that, but I'll send it to you. But you get your chart, you get your 12-page PDF, and then you get a 5-part audio series that helps you look at your chart and make like understand it, because it will look kind of gibberish to you at first. But then when you slowly start to unlearn different things, you start to wake up to the fact that you've been programmed a little bit, and it's time to come home to yourself and really build a business that is aligned with you, and those around you can start to see that too. Those my friends have started to get interested in human design because I'm changing and I'm lighting up, right? So that would be the first place to start. And then, yeah, I have my podcast. I have a free magnetic business audit. And then I have my one-on-one coaching that I absolutely love and adore. And that's all on my website.
Excellent. I'll make sure to have links to your website as well, so people can find you. Most definitely. Again, thank
Great.
you so much, Steph, for joining us. I sincerely appreciate it. And again, totally new perspective, totally out of the ordinary for me. And I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Home Brew. If it resonated with you or gave you a fresh perspective, share it with someone else who's working hard to make their mark. Subscribe, stay curious, and remember, no matter the challenge, keep pushing forward because success is brewed one step at a time. We'll see you next time. Same place, new story. That's it for this episode of Home Brew. If it resonated with you or gave you a fresh perspective, share it with someone else who's working hard to make their mark. Subscribe, stay curious, and remember, no matter the challenge, keep pushing forward because success is brewed one step at a time. We'll see you next time. Same place, new story.